Hi, my name is Colin McGraw, and I am in English W350. And today I wanted to do a video on a subject in class that resonated most with me and has been most interesting. I decided to delve deeper into McGonagall's idea of the gaming world. Specifically, I wanted to focus on fix number 9, which is fun with strangers. So first, fun with strangers is exactly what it sounds like, and it focuses on the idea that it is better to be with strangers than to be alone, whether this be in the real world or in the virtual world. And so the common two principles of this fix are one, that it cultivate a shared interest among strangers, and two, it gives strangers an opportunity to interact around this shared interest. Okay, so an overall goal, essentially, of Fun with Strangers is to make sure these communities provide a sense of protection and feeling from alienation. So within the chapter, and specifically on Fun with Strangers, McGonagall talks about two different games, and one is called Ghost of Chance, and then the other one is called Bounce. And briefly, summary of those, Ghost of Chance involves the American Art Museum, and it's was a game where fictional characters are made up in the virtual world, and it was the job of the museum goers to kind of create these artifacts that best represent the fictional character stories, and like each week they would release a new story or part of the story, and then the members of the game had to collaborate on clues they were given in order to come to a general consensus about how best to represent the characters. And then at the end, these like tangible works were put into the museum. So it was just kind of a way for people who didn't know each other to come together to reach a common goal. And then Bounce is a game that involves connecting different generations. So you'd have like two participants, and one would be like in their teen years, and then one would be an elderly. And so they would talk, and the goal of the game was to find common interest in things that they both had done. And so the more commonalities that people had, the higher the score. And the ultimate goal was to give the strangers the feeling as if they had created something. It feels good to be a part of this community because something positive is resulting from the uncomfortable interactions. Also, these types of interactions lead us to find new interests, and we may begin partaking and immersing ourselves in situations that allow us to create social connections. And with the world today, and is all about being social and is surrounded by these ideas of virtual worlds that connect us with people that we don't know. And it also allows us to gain a confidence. And this newly found confidence allows us to more readily interact with strangers. So I also wanted to delve into some kind of common games that deal with fun with strangers. And honestly, any video game that involves collaboration, like Halo or Call of Duty or even Trivia Crack, when you can play with strangers, the players are all working towards a common goal, and it allows the players to communicate in a comfortable setting, and it gives the players a sense of community, whether they are only access to the virtual world or in person. But also games in person, such as like Travel Sports Team, which is something that personally I can relate to, and that when I first tried out for like travel teams, I was immersed with a bunch of girls that I didn't know, but we all had this sense of that we wanted to succeed, so we all worked together, and it really created a positive community in which everyone wanted to contribute. Also, many college organizations kind of deal with this. You kind of go in not knowing anyone, and it's kind of all strangers, but you know the goal that you want to reach, and that's what you're working towards. So, as a future educator, it becomes important that I take the material I learn in class and attempt to apply it within like a classroom setting and how it could be beneficial. So, I think Fun with Strangers can more easily apply to a college classroom. So I feel that just like with the group work and the fact that you don't know everyone in your college classroom, but you all know what you're working towards, I feel like the Fun with Strangers is more easily attainable. So many things such as like websites like Study Room, which is a website where you can collaborate with people in class virtually, and it just helps with like studying before tests, and like if someone misses a class you can get the notes, and it just allows the students to build a positive community in order to reach success. So also, within high schools or elementary schools, there's different things such as pen pals or like pace pals, where you have students of the younger grades working with students of older grades that they may not know. And this is kind of goes back to McGonagall's I bounce game. So just kind of connecting in ways with strangers that you wouldn't think you could connect, and it kind of builds a more sense of comfort within your environment and community. So ultimately, with the new technology in this world, there are endless possibilities and ways to connect with strangers, but it's important that people take advantage of these possibilities in order to better themselves and also use in times of need to avoid alienation and isolation. But also, there are so many positives that can become of these communities and take such a positive turn in many people's lives. And